Okay, it looks like we are live. Hello and welcome, everyone. Or if you have been here before, welcome back. I am super excited to be able to talk about what we're going to talk about today. I love being able to come on here and add extra value and also be of service to my people. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to our Beyond the Solar series. If you haven't been here before, or if this is your first time, thank you so much. This is where we dive deep, not just about solar and renewable energy, but we like to talk about freedom. We like to talk about fatherhood, fitness, financial independence, making sure that you are feeling good in your mind, body, and soul. Really excited about what we're going to talk about today. And really, we're going to dive into what is the true cost of freedom, right? Basically, I want to share with you guys why this message is so important to me and why it matters so much. It is because, listen, I love freedom, right? I love freedom so much that it's something that I have been working on for literally over a decade, right? I love the word freedom so much. I have it tatted on me. Can't show you now, but I love the idea of you being able to be a master of your own destiny. I love the idea of you being able to control, your life, you being able to control what your day looks like, you being able to control what your success can be. Now, what's great about being free and having and working towards freedom is that you get to be the one to decide what does freedom look like, what does success look like, how does it affect you, how does it affect your family, right? And overall, how are you able to become a better person because of it? So I am looking forward to being able to provide value. I hope that you guys come out of this feeling incredible. This isn't something that's set up to motivate you. This is about survival. It's basically you being able to own your own life, own your own results, right? And you making the most out of every single day that the Creator is able to give to us. What we want to go through is some five major points when it comes to understanding what is the true cost of freedom, right? And looking at what is it that the mindset that you need to have in order to create a life that is sustainable, a life that is full of happiness, and a life that is full of purpose, not just for you, but for the people around you. Because believe it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, you have an individual talent, you have an individual skill that was given to you by the Creator for you to be of service to other people. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and dive into it, right? What are the requirements? What is the mindset? What is it that we need to have within ourselves in order to be truly free? And the first thing that freedom requires of all of us is we gotta be hunters, right? If you've ever been in a job where you've ever, had full commissions or you're starting off your business, you know that everything is going to depend on you going out there every single day and hunting, right? It's something that you just can't wait for food to come to you. Nobody's gonna come and, hey, just give you a deal for you to close. You're going to have to go out there day in and day out, work a good amount of hours, work endless amount of hours, right, to be able to go out there and hunt. And when you're a hunter, you got to understand, right, that you have to hunt whenever your prey is around. That means that you may not have the luxury of hunting at a certain time and, being done by a certain time. It might mean that you might go days, weeks, months, even years without seeing the kind of success that you are intending to see or what you expected. And it means that every single day you got to go out there and be a hunter, right? You got to go out there and hunt what you kill and then bring that over to the table. I'm telling you guys, right? As somebody that is always in the pursuit of hunting, as somebody that's always in the pursuit of freedom, there is nothing more gratifying than being able to bring home what you've killed, right? And as a hunter, you got to go out there, you got to know how to prospect. You got to go out there and understand what does your audience look like. You got to go out there and understand what does the people that you want to provide your service to, what do they look like? What are their needs, right? What is their demographic? And you got to be out there, right? If you want to be the king of your jungle, if you want to be the king of your castle, you got to be the one to be a provider, especially if you're looking to be able to provide freedom for you and your family. The great thing about this, right, guys, is that when you're in charge, of what your day looks like, when you're in charge of what you want your life to look like, and most importantly, when you're in charge as to what you want your paycheck to look like, that means that it is incumbent on you to go out there and be a provider. You got to go out there and actually go and hunt, and you look at the things that you need in order for you to be able to, provide for you and your family. Now, the great thing about it is that nowadays we have so many resources that can help us and essentially go out there and give us the right tools that we need in order to make sure that we are properly armed for our hunt, right? I'll tell you guys, look, this is a great example of what happened to me, right? Before I got into solar, I was used to working a 9 to 5. I was used to clocking in, being told what to do, right? But I didn't find a lot of happiness or a lot of purpose in that. And what I had the opportunity to do is when I first learned how to go out there and knock my first door, I realized that now I have a skill that can never be taken away from me. I realized that now I have an opportunity where my family can never go hungry again. Because as long as I know how to go out there and knock on somebody's door or pick up the phone and hey, make a phone call, I know that I can always be a provider for my family. I know that as long as I can withstand the hardship, as long as I can go out there and put in the hard work, that I can go and be able to come back with a deal, right? I can come back and put some food on the table. I can come back and make my partner happy, right? Because there's nothing more inspiring, there's nothing more amazing than being able to go out there and know that you have the confidence that no matter what, you can go ahead and provide. The good thing about being a hunter, right, is that you can determine what your own economy looks like, right? Right now, not just in the States, but across the world, you're seeing that there are people struggling. There are people looking for jobs. There are people trying to look for employment, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you always want to have the mentality of you being a hunter, right? Even if you do have a job, there's nothing wrong with it. But you wanna look at it as like, okay, how do I hunt for that new promotion? How do I hunt for getting more value or giving more value, right? How do I hunt in improving my skills, right? Hunting doesn't just have to do with you being in sales or you being an entrepreneurship, right? I think that all of us, whether we realize it or not, we're in sales. We're always looking to sell ourselves, maybe to our family, maybe to, our coworkers, maybe to our boss, maybe to our employees. We're always in the prospect of selling, right? And you want to go out there and always think about like, okay, I need to go out there and hunt, right? Maybe I need to look for other opportunities. Maybe I need to look at what other positions I need. Maybe I need to go out there and hunt for more skills, right? So being a hunter is not just about, oh, well, I'm in sales and that's why I go hunting, or maybe I'm not in sales and I don't need to go hunting. One thing for certain that we know is that the world is always changing, right? The world is always evolving. And another thing that we know for sure is that people are going to be here to stay, right? I don't see us getting run over by AI, as crazy as it sounds. I know sometimes they want to put it out there like that, but you're going to have to do business and be in the service of other human beings. And the best way that you can be a great hunter is by being able to put food on the table. It's by being able to be a service to your fellow human being. And it's by being able to always think about, how do I increase the value? How do I provide more importance? How do I make sure that I am growing as a person? So then that way I'm always on the hunt for that new thing, right? I'm always thinking, okay, maybe I need to improve 1% every single day. Maybe I need to learn how to be a better speaker. Maybe I need to learn how to be a better writer. All the things that encompasses what you do, right? All of us are different hunters. We're not always hunting for the same thing. But regardless of whether you're in sales, whether you have a nice stable job, whether you own a business, whether you're starting a business, having the mentality of a hunter is going to ensure that neither you or your family are going to go hungry, right? Because you're always looking for more, right? You're always looking for, hey, what's the next thing that I need to get, right? Doesn't mean that, hey, you're always looking for more materialism. It doesn't mean that you're always looking for more money. No. Hey, you're looking for a way to provide more value, right? Because that is how you can ensure that you and your family are being able to have something to eat, right? That's how you can ensure that you and your family are being able to make sure that you guys have a good life. And ultimately, by you being a hunter, that is what's going to provide true security for you and your family, right? Now, the second point, right, is part of being free and going on this journey of freedom is being able to say no to the illusion of security. Listen, guys, I'll tell you this from my personal experience. there is no bigger illusion than you thinking that you're going to be secure in your 9 to 5 job. Again, nothing wrong with it, right? You got to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to put food on the table. But as we mentioned, the world is always changing, right? The services that are around today, they probably won't be around tomorrow in the same fashion. And if you're going to be the same person today that you're going to be tomorrow, then your skills are probably not going to be needed in the future, right? Things that look very comfortable is, hey, I go in, I clock in at 9, I leave at 5, I get a paycheck, it feels great. Maybe you have some benefits. Nothing wrong with it. You want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of all the blessings that are being given to you, right? But you don't want to be able to fall for the illusion of security, right? Because tomorrow, if let's say you're just living on the edge, or you're just thinking like, hey, this is always going to be around, I'm telling you from my personal experience, guys, there is no bigger shock than, hey, they no longer need you, right? Hey, they no longer have the hours available. Maybe your company needs to downsize. And the last thing that you want to do is get left, hey, with your pants down, right? You were so sure that you was always going to have this 9 to 5 job, and hey, you're so accustomed to getting a paycheck every Friday that you didn't prepare for the worst case scenario. But going back to it, by being a hunter and always looking for, hey, how do I improve myself, right? So if your company does downsize, but you've been increasing in value, the likelihood of them letting you go has now decreased, right? By you being a hunter, maybe you have something on the side that you do. Hey, well, maybe now you have something that you can fall back on. Maybe the side hustle that you have or you had, that becomes your main source of income, right? By making sure that you're always looking for more opportunities, ways to, hey, maybe you live underneath your means, right? Because we've talked about this before, but how to do more with less. That means that, hey, I'm prepared for the worst case scenario. I know how to hunt. I'm not afraid out there to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid to go through some pain, right? Because I've been hunting this whole time, right? So one of the things that we need to look at when it comes to freedom is understanding that, listen, having a paycheck is great. I get it. We all need something to start. But relying on it is not true freedom, because then you're tied to, hey, somebody else providing you work. You're tied to somebody else feeding you. And the moment that that is not there, well, now you're going to be left in a worse situation, right? Because now you have responsibilities, you have things that you need to take care of. And it ends up forcing you to make choices that you probably would have not made if you were always in the mentality of evolving, of growing as a person, and always as hunting. Listen, comfort is a bribe, right? And freedom is going to be calling you guys, right? So don't go ahead and fall for the illusion of having a stable job. Don't fall for the illusion of, hey, I get a paycheck at the end of every week. Don't fall for the illusion of looking for Fridays and only enjoying 2 days out of the week, right? So going back to the next point, or moving forward with the next point, right, is you want to always be growing. This world, guys, look, let me tell you, this world is always changing. It is insane. I'll give you guys a very simple example, right? Depending on how old you are, right? You can totally understand where I'm coming from. But just a few years ago, anytime you needed to look up any information, right, people would be like, well, I'm going to Google it. I'm gonna Google it, right? If it was before, if you guys are a little bit older, I remember when we first started getting computers in my school, right? It's be like, oh, ask Jeeves, right? If you're older, right? If you're even older than that, you probably remember having to go to the library, be like, oh, look it up in the book, look it up in the dictionary. Now, what I hear more and more people saying is, I'm gonna chat GBT it. Right now, look at how much that's changed, right? And for those of us that maybe were accustomed to doing something one way, you can see how a technology comes in and it completely changes the way that we do things, right? Look at the way that we shop now. Most of us are accustomed to shopping on Amazon, and all it took was for one person or a group of people to come up with a new idea that shakes up the way that we do things. And if there's one thing that I've known in my short 36 years of being alive, and maybe my last 15 to 20 years of actually being a conscious human being, right, is that technology is going to keep evolving. Things are going to keep growing, right? And if you're not learning, you're really just dying. You're basically just putting off the inevitable, right? Hope I can say that right. Inevitable, right? Of you no longer being functional in this new world. The last thing that you want to do is, hey, you don't want to be obsolete, right? So what you want to take the opportunity to do is, hey, learn a new skill. Maybe you need to, go deeper into what you're already doing. That way you can be more valuable, right? What do people love paying big bucks for? Is a professional, right? We all love dealing with professionals, right? Sometimes we don't like to pay for them, but we love professionals. And how do you become a professional? Is by you being an expert in that one thing that you're either good at, or the thing that you're passionate about, or the thing that you've been working on for a really long time. You want to make sure that you're diving deeper, right? You're diving deeper into what your skill sets are, into maybe what it's involved in, what your job is and what your business is. You want to be able to have a habit of keeping yourself sharp, right? Iron sharpens iron. You want to make sure that you're reading, you're listening to a podcast, you're being able to cultivate your own thoughts, because in a world that's evolving now with AI, AI is doing most of our thinking now, right? We have a smartphone in our hands that we utilize, but it's making people dumber because we're so reliant on that technology. And again, I'm a big believer, learn how to use technology as a tool. Don't let it be the end all, right? Don't just rely on technology for everything. Take the opportunity to understand what technology is, right? Understand that you are the greatest creation that ever could have happened, no matter what they tell you. Human beings are amazing. We can do things that we never thought possible. Remember that it was another human being that created the technology that we're using today, right? So that means that you also have the opportunity to be able to create and do great things as well. That means that you have the opportunity where you can better yourself. You have the opportunity to add more value to what you do every day. And again, it is my belief that we were all put here in order to be in the service of other human beings. Human beings are not going nowhere. The more that you can keep growing, the more that you can add value, the more you'll see how free you can actually be, right? Because you can dictate your hours, you can dictate your services, you can dictate your prices, you can dictate where you live, who you marry, how your family is. All those things happen because you continue to grow as a person. So take advantage of the days that, or the times that we live in, right? We live in probably the greatest time to ever be alive, right? We have the internet. Now we're having the advent of AI. There's just so much technology that's available to us that was not available before, that there should be no excuse for us to stop growing, right? And the good thing about it, that it doesn't even cost us a lot of money, right? Look at now, right? If you guys are tuning in, or if you tuned in before, or if you just scroll through the internet, there is so much information that you can find, and you have to be able to discern what is true, what makes sense for you, and what is something that you can apply right away, right? So definitely keep the mindset of, you want to keep growing. You don't want to be the same person that you was yesterday. Even if it's just 1% better, even if it's just learning a new word, even if it's just, hey, I want to be a better speaker, so I'm going to go ahead and, maybe read out loud. One of the things that I want to do is, I want to be able to be of service to people. I'll share this with you guys, right? If I could have like the greatest, let's say, job, or the greatest profession that I could have, I'd love to be able to consult people on how to be the best versions of themselves. I'd love to be able to help people with their problems when it comes to fatherhood, financial literacy, fitness. I'd love to be able to help people grow as a person and in their search and pursuit of freedom, right? The reason why I started to do these live streams is because I needed to grow as a person. I know that I'm not done providing purpose, or I'm not done providing my service. I know that I haven't found my purpose yet, right? But if I just stay stagnant in what I'm doing, I'm never going to find it. So I got to challenge myself. I got to push myself, right? When it comes to fitness, the reason why you grow muscles is because you challenged your muscle. You grew your muscle, right? But in order for you to grow, you have to be able to tear it down and build it back up, right? And that's the reason why I decided to do our Beyond the Solar series. I wanted to be able to provide more service to people. I wanted to be a better human being, right? I wanted to find out what my purpose is given to me by the Creator. Okay, the fourth thing, right, that when it comes to freedom is, you got to say no to distractions, right? Listen, guys, most of the things that's out there, it's really not going to be good for you. One of the most powerful things that I have ever learned in the world is this one word, and that is the word no, right? I say no to so many things, right? Because listen, I am on a mission. I have my blinders on. I know where I want to go. I know where I need to go. I may not know what that journey looks like, but I just know that I want to be on a journey for to find purpose. I want to be on a journey to be able to provide a service to my fellow human beings, right? And a lot of that comes with being able to say no. Not everything that's out there is not for you, right? Listen, you know how many times, especially when things are not going the way that I think they should or things are going bad, people have told me, hey, why don't you switch careers? Why don't you go do something else? Hey, I'm doing this now, right? This new thing is out, and hey, nothing against it, but it may not be for you, right? I always said this, right? When cryptocurrency was first coming out, right? Everybody was telling me that I should invest in some form of crypto, I should invest in some kind of coins, I should invest in blah 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 blah, right? And not because I thought it was a bad thing, right? But I knew for myself, I was like, listen, I know myself well enough. This is not something that I understand. It might be a great technology, but I'm gonna pass on it for now, right? Sure, it's been great for a lot of people. It's been not so great for a lot of people, but I know that for me, I know where I'm looking to go. I know what I want my freedom to look like. I know what I want my finances to look like. And that means that I gotta say no to whatever thing looks like it's a little bit shiny, right? And you have to be able to do the same thing. Not every opportunity is meant for you. That's actually how you end up losing a lot of money. That's actually how you end up stressing yourself even more, right? Because what ends up happening is that now you've decided to go into something that it was never really meant for you, or maybe it was something that you didn't understand, or maybe it was something that didn't align with your purpose. So you got to learn how to be able to say no to things that look like they're shiny, right? Not every yes is an opportunity. You don't have to say yes to everything. As a matter of fact, it is much more important and much more beneficial for you to be able to say no, right? So remember, going back to what we've spoken about, right? Freedom, it requires you to be a hunter. You got to go out there and always thinking about how do you make yourself better. It's going to be hard work. It won't be easy, but in the long run, it's going to pay for it. It's going to be all worth it, right? Second thing, you got to say no to the illusion of security. If something feels like it's secure, if something feels like it's really good, it's probably not the best thing for you. If you feel comfortable in your life, again, it doesn't mean that you should be stressed out, right? But if you're like just way too comfortable and you're relaxed and you're not doing much to push yourself, that's going to end up hurting you in the long run, right? The next thing, you want to keep growing. You want to keep evolving as a person. Technology is changing, people is changing, businesses is changing. You have to be changing and evolving as well, right? And then learn how to say no to the distractions, right? I understand distractions are fun. I fall for them too, right? I'm not perfect, but you got to be able to know when to say no to whatever it is distracting you, whatever it is keeping you from living the kind of life that you want to live. And the final thing, guys, this is a lonely journey. Let me tell you that, man. It is a very lonely journey. Whenever you're looking to be able to provide freedom for yourself, whenever you're looking to do something that's different from everybody else, understand that you're going to be doing it alone. It's not going to be forever, right? But it's going to take an immense amount of work in order for you to build a tribe, right? Listen, I go through it every single day, right? In my own journeys, listen, the solar industry has gone through its ups and downs. I've gained people, I've lost people, I've gained people, I've lost people. But overall, right, like I said, I have the blinders on. I understand that I'm gonna have to go through it alone for a very long time, right? In order for me to be able to build a community of people that are gonna be around me, that I can learn from, that I can grow with, that I can build with, right? And listen, the weight of you having to be there and be there by yourself, right? It means that it's going to make you stronger. It means that you're going to be able to build the calluses up that you need in order to withstand the hardships, in order to withstand the storms, in order to withstand all the hard times that are going to be coming ahead of us. Because we know, right? Just like we know there's going to be good times, we know that there's going to be bad times. During the bad times, they're going to feel like they're going to be here forever. And during the good times, we're going to realize that all the bad times was worth it, right? So, this is a journey that if you're looking to be able to provide freedom, if you're looking to be able to be independent, if you're looking to be able to create legacy, it's going to be a lonely journey, right? Don't expect people to have your back. As a matter of fact, I would count on most people, especially the people closest to you, not having your back. I had to learn that the hard way when I decided to go out on my own, right? I had to learn that, like, hey, people may not have your best interest at heart. So you're gonna have to learn how to be able to go up there and basically create your own path, because it is a lonely journey. But remember, nothing is forever. So if you can continue building yourself, if you can continue to add value to who you are, if you can continue to grow as a person, if you can continue to be a hunter, you're gonna find people that are gonna want to join your tribe, right? People like to be around people that are doing extraordinary things. And if you're an extraordinary person, in due time, you're going to be able to build your own tribe that's exactly aligned with what your goals are. People are going to see that what you're looking to obtain, they're also looking to obtain as well. And it's so much better to work together as a unit than having to be a lone soldier. You will have to be a lone soldier for a little bit, right? It's going to happen, but hey, in due time, everything will pass. And before you know it, you're going to also have a tribe that's going to depend on you, that you'll be able to depend on them, and you guys will be able to grow in together as a unit. And then I have one more bonus part that I want to talk about. The true cost of freedom is fear. Listen, if you are not ready to make fear your greatest friend, freedom is going to be extremely tough for you, right? Listen, the way that I look at freedom, I have an incredible, I'm sorry, the way I look at fear is I have an incredible relationship with fear. Every time I am afraid of doing something, every time I'm scared of taking a certain path, or I'm scared of either knocking on a door, or making a phone call, I know that that's the thing that I need to be doing. I look at freedom as my spotter, right? Whenever I'm going and I'm like, okay, I'm scared to do it, I don't know if I can, fear is telling me like, yes, you can, you need to be doing that, right? It might seem crazy, right? But I have this incredible relationship with fear where I welcome it. If I'm afraid to do something, I know that that's what I need to be doing, because I know that that's where my biggest opportunity for growth is. Look, full transparency, I was afraid to come online, right? Every single time before I come online, I'm afraid. I'm definitely afraid, right? Because I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? Am I doing the right thing? I'm there's so much fear that goes into being a business owner, right? But that's why I know I need to keep working at it, right? If I'm not afraid, that means I'm not growing. I need to be growing, right? And fear and growth is scary. It truly is, right? So, you know, I give you this extra caveat that if you don't feel afraid every single day, and I don't mean like terrified where you're paralyzed, right? But I mean like maybe you're a little bit nervous, maybe you're scared, right? Then you got to do something to shake it up. Remember, being comfortable is probably the worst thing that you can do for yourself. The last thing that you want to do is be comfortable and be okay with, the mundane. That's not the way that you want to live your life. Trust me, you were put on this earth to do incredible, magnificent things, right? And that takes a little bit of fear. That takes a little bit of anxiety. That takes a little bit of nervousness in order for you to break through your previous limitations, right? If, hey, not for nothing, right? If you grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and you're an anime fan, you know like what's the thing that always makes the main character or the character stronger is them fighting an opponent that they never thought that they could defeat, right? That's what I love about Dragon Ball Z. I'm a big fan of the Saiyans. I hope you guys know that too. I hope you guys are as well, right? But I'm a big fan of it. But it's because of the underlying message, right? Is that when you're able to, go up against that mountainous things that looks like you're never gonna climb, or that you're never gonna be able to go through, and then you finally are able to break your limitations, you're able to go beyond your limit, the way that you feel is so incredible, right? That's why, again, going back to anime, I love the idea of always pushing beyond your limits, of always looking for the next challenge to make yourself better, right? It's always looking at, okay, how do I improve? How do I team up with the right people? How do I put in myself in situations where, hey, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm not the one that knows everything. Maybe I'm the one that knows the least, right? But like I said, iron sharpens iron. And if you're around people that are smarter than you, that's what you want to do. You want to always be around people that are way and leagues ahead of you, because then you know how much more you can go. Because at the end of the day, look, none of us were born special, right? In the sense of, like, if one person is able to accomplish something, there's no reason why you can't too. You just have to ask yourself, are you willing to go through the same amount of pain and sacrifice that they're going through? Because if you are, and there's no reason why you can't accomplish great things just like other people. If you have these other individuals that you look up to, or people that you idolize, understand, right? I get it. There's some things that take talent, right? Like, hey, I'm probably never going to be a basketball player. One, I don't watch the sport, right? Two, I don't have the athleticism for it. But, right, there's certain things within your realm that can make you a candidate to be able to do other great things, right? Maybe I know you won't be a basketball player, but maybe you can be an incredible coach. Maybe you can be somebody that helps nurse the athletes into it. Maybe you're not the smartest person out there, but hey, you can get a group of people that can help you create a wonderful business and a wonderful service. I promise you that the majority of the people that we look up to that made great things, they're not special by any means, right? All they did was they were willing to withstand, they were willing to go through an immense amount of pain that maybe other people are just not willing to go through, right? But if you continuously grow yourself, if you can continuously go ahead and push beyond your limitations, you'll realize that things that you never thought you could do before seem like a walk in the park for you, right? And that doesn't happen overnight. That happens by continuously growing, by continuously developing yourself. And again, as long as you have the patience and the dedication, you're going to be able to get there, right? So listen, guys, we've come to an end with our stream. If you're serious about freedom, right, start looking at start saying no to what looks good, start saying no to what looks easy, start looking into ways that you can grow, that you can have ownership, and that you can create a legacy. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys to see if this was a help. Please feel free to drop a fire emoji or send me a message if you found this helpful. I'd love to continue to be able to provide a service for more people. I truly believe that I have the heart of a servant. I love to be able to be of use to my fellow human being. I love to be able to provide value to other people. If I could do something every single day for the rest of my life, it would be to connect with amazing people and be able to provide value to them. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great and blessed day, and I look forward to being a servant to you guys some more. Take care.